better, you get run into it. And thank you very much for putting us up to this and always being on the other side listening, giving us feedback on the work we are doing. We appreciate it. We are propelled, we're gingered, we're energized to be doing this every Saturday morning. I hope you're doing very, very, very well. We are good. I see Ariel, she's looking good. Reverend Ogbarmey is looking good. I had you on the SMS yesterday. And then, oh, I haven't seen Phoebe yet, but I know that, she's doing well as well. I hope that you out there, you're well. Wherever or whatever you find yourself doing this morning, stay safe. Stay safe out there. Ah, there she is. Stay safe out there. If you're driving out of town for whatever engagement, please be careful on the road. There are so many madmen on the road. Let me just put it that way. So please be careful. People have woken up, they're driving, but they're still sleeping this dawn. So be very careful on the road. If you're going to the hospital this morning to visit somebody who is not well, we wish you strength and we are praying that your loved ones recover. And if you're bereaved this morning, let's say that you will have to see a family member, off, you will have to see them off back home. We're praying for God's strength and God's comfort for you. It's always never an easy thing to do, but we're praying for God's strength and may He comfort you through it all and provide, for you as well. We have all been complaining the economy is tough, things are hard. Today you go and buy something for, 10 cedis, you go the next day, it is 12 cedis, another time, and oh God, we're just praying that it gets better. We're praying it gets better because my children will tell you it's getting it's getting worse. Maybe it's getting worse or whatever that means. It's just, sometimes you just go like, where are we going? This morning I was hearing in the news that fuel is going to go up again.
Yeah.
Drivers are looking to increasing fares by 40%.
40.
Yes,
Wow.
and salaries are still the same. So how do we manage and survive? But yeah, it will be well. And we will finish our singles conversation very soon and move into something else. These are the times that Ariel, we are going to have a lot of you here as well. People's mental well-being are being challenged right now in these times.
Yeah.
People's homes are going through a lot. Couples who used to have very peaceful homes and are not fighting are fighting over the least things now. People are grumbling, people are upset, people are taking out their frustrations on their children, and everything around them. And we will need to have conversations to, in as much as we are all facing it, some way, somehow, somebody must put themselves up for this. So we will encourage ourselves first.
Yeah.
And then put ourselves out there and help hold each other's hand and encourage you out there. Nobody knows how long this is going to, last, but it's difficult and we know homes are impacted. So we will try and have, conversations that will help lift our souls, our spirits, and lift us up mentally a little bit while we go through this period. Hope and believe that we get out of it very soon. But this is Home Affairs, and today we're having the part 2 of our conversation on money, Sika, especially so for the young people who are now planning to get married. Last week we said a lot of things. My take home, 3 things. 1, you don't necessarily have to be looking out for somebody who is rich or has a bag of money sitting down in their room or in the bank today. For starters, when the person has substance, is fine. However, you need to be able to understand their ability to be able to make wealth. How are they able to turn what they have into something they will have for long? You need to look out for that. You also need to look out for how people are socialized and brought up, their backgrounds when it comes to money. It's very, very, very important. You need to also look out for people's spending abilities and their saving abilities. What do they think about spending? How do they think about savings and being able to invest? You need to be able to know all of these so that you make informed choices. And I know that we were also asking last week about the fact that is it important also for the man to look out for a woman who is able to support herself and help support the family financially? It shouldn't, especially so looking at the times in which we are, should it just be the work of the man alone? And we said no. As much as possible, the woman should also have something they're doing with their hands to be able to support the family. So we need to look out for all of these before we joyfully say, I do. We need to look out for all of these. Then we said today we're going to activate the phone lines very soon and start trying to delve into some of the questions that are on the minds of people who are planning to get married. We asked that if you're in a relationship with somebody, that's where we ended last week, must you take on their responsibilities? Oh, and my rent, and my fund is not working, and you need to go out to have dinner. Must it all be the preserve of the man because people are looking up to him to do, and you're being judged once you're not doing it? The woman is probably saying that you're chisel and all that. What should the man also be looking out for? Shouldn't you also be a woman who goes like, oh honey, don't worry, the bill is on me today and all that? So, and then all the other questions that are on your mind, would like to take them and answer them. So you want to start sending them in now on 055 997 Home Affairs is brought to us by, oh yeah, we are doing good. We have a lot of you supporting us on Home Affairs and we say thank you. Amasha Partners Limited and I Care, CompuGhana, passion for technology. You are welcome on board. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. This is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, happy smile. Onga, Mama's helping hand. Ilele Fritol, cooking oil. You decide a life of goodness. Royal Cane Cracker, take chalk your hunger. Cerelac, it's all good, Mom. Thank you all very much for supporting Home Affairs. Ariel, the wellness coach, is seated.
Hi.
Ariel, good morning. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. In fact, this is when we need all the wellness lessons and everything. And, so I know you have something coming up.
Yeah.
We'll try and talk about it. We all need it, seriously. We all need it. We need to be well. Otherwise, it's not going well. Everybody will be there. Good morning. Thank you. Well, you said you were traveling, but you are here. We prayed, though. Daniela and I organized the prayer session. We did a 3-day prayer session on Zoom, so we're happy able to make. I'm telling you.
I'm glad you know how to pray like that. I'll send you some prayer topics.
And Phoebe Gbesemete is also a family life counselor. She left us to go and stay in Obiman. So I'm sure the economy is not affecting you, is it? Phoebe, please unmute.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm unmuted.
Oh, now we can hear you. The way you are glowing this morning doesn't look like you have any economic problems where you are.
Oh, and the glory of the Lord is upon
Amen. Amen. So we want to start. The first question I asked is, if you are in a relationship, must you be responsible, especially so the man? Is it your duty? Must you have the headache of taking on the responsibility of the woman and footing their bills? Especially so when you're not married. Yeah, Ariel, you want to go?
Okay. Good question. Interesting question. And recently I met a gentleman who we're having a conversation, and one of them brought up something of concern to him. And his concern was that women empowerment is affecting men. And I saw where he was coming from. Culturally, the man has been made to know that I am the breadwinner. I have to do this and do that and do all the other bits to make a woman feel like I'm taking care of her.
Yeah.
And now the women are empowered. They are able to do almost everything they want to do as well. And for him, he could tell that the men are being affected by that imbalance. There's an imbalance in empowerment. And he was strongly, concerned that even his daughter was going on to get masters, and he said, "Oh yes, I'll be a empower."
I see.
That was his concern, that
Okay.
women empowerment is bringing imbalance to the men. Men are not being empowered anymore. And so, thinking about that and talking about, should the man be the only one who foots the bill in a
So
relationship?
let me understand him. He would rather women were not empowered and then men took care of everything
He
and
wants
then we
men,
stayed at
he
home
wants us to start having advocacy for men now,
to do what?
to empower them to accept that women, it's okay for them to be where they are now,
Okay.
because
That's
it's
a good one.
affecting the ego, the insecurities of men, and he can tell there's going to be a problem in the future. He was very, very passionate about the conversation, and to an extent, yes, because culturally our men think you don't have to do it, I have to do it.
No, his reason for calling for this, I think, is very justified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That we need to bring in balance in empowering.
Get the men to understand
to
that
understand. Just say
uh, backward never for us, it's forward ever. I agree
And
to that one.
another friend was like, no, this shouldn't be something we advocate for men to understand. Men need to understand that women are also whole people, whole being, and they have needs. They have dreams. They need to go after it. So this conversation comes here now because if a man thinks, if I go out with you, you don't have to pay, and you pay, depend on his temperament, depend on his ego, depend on his insecurities
And
and socialization,
Yeah.
then it's going to come out to let him feel like Oba way,
Oh,
Oba
you're too
controlling
low.
me.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, I
first
see.
is an understanding of the person you are dealing with. The
Okay.
conversation should have come prior to you contributing or saying, I want to take charge of this. And that we said it last week, that there's a need of conversations about how you're going to spend money when you get married, who does what, who does this. So when you're dating, and for me, I like spending on people. So I've gone out with people and I said, I'm paying or something. I've done that before.
You haven't
But
done
I
it for
don't,
me yet.
uh-huh, because you're my big sister. But I don't know how it went for them back then. I don't know how it went. And as I said, I saw my mother always doing. So I picked it, and
Yeah.
I like to be doing. So I've done it, and I think you need to be careful the person you are pushing your doing on. If the person doesn't feel so comfortable that "Nyami na me tia, she's paying for me," some people can't take it, depending on how they are socialized, depending on how they think about
I
money.
see.
And so you need to understand them, or say that okay, there's another way of doing it. If you think a man is not so comfortable with you paying when you go out or buying things for them, maybe you can gift them and say, oh, I have this money I want to give you for us
Yeah.
to use. Yeah, you need to do it in a way that it doesn't affect your well-being, because if you just do it and there are consequences that you can't deal with, it becomes his anger, and then he can be angry about that, and you wouldn't even know that is what is making him angry.
Wow.
So there's a need to know the person you are dealing with first, how they feel. If you want to contribute and we go out and I said I want to
Wow.
pay for the money, yes, these things are happening out there. People's psychology plays a huge role in relationship and money.
This is a very interesting insight.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's a very interesting insight. But before I come to you, Reverend, let me go to Phoebe and find out, Phoebe, the other side of the coin, right? This is, I think, I'm not a man. I will ask Reverend Ogbarmey if this shouldn't make men happy. That you actually do have a woman who wants to, share her earnings with you and wants to support you in paying bills and all that and doesn't want to push all the burden on you. Shouldn't this really make men go like, breath of fresh air? So I'll put that question to Reverend Ogbarmey. But if let's look at the other side where the man is burdened because of all the expectations of him. In this relationship, the woman is actually not thinking like, what Ariel just said, but the woman feels like it has to be your responsibility. Should the man just wake up to it?
Well, the interesting thing is we need to look at the makeup of men and women. We have to look at how we have been created. A man naturally derives a lot of pride, a lot of joy from providing, from protecting, from taking care of the people who are
That
in
is if
his
he
care.
can.
Even if he
Yes,
can't.
that is if he can. And then women as well. And this is a thing that is also going on. As Ariel was speaking, I was also thinking of the trend that's going on among women where they are saying they want a soft life. And I've spoken to a lot of women that are saying we prefer a soft life, and which to me is showing a change in the trend. A different things are going a different direction where women are saying that we're actually beginning to feel the burden of carrying these responsibilities as well as taking care of ourselves and our families. And nobody provoked that. It was just a natural response to just feeling overwhelmed. And I've counseled a lot of women that are saying that I am tired, this is really hard for me to do. But men are also having the conversation where they are saying that, I believe that I should be able to care for you and for the family. Now, it doesn't mean that the woman doesn't have a role to play. I believe that women have a very crucial role to play in supporting the men. And I believe that it's in the sense that the woman is able to, we naturally have an ability to have like a broad overview of our resources and how to manage them and how to, what's it called, apportion it in a way that will cause us to multiply and increase. But you see, we've kind of put ourselves in a corner where we believe that the way we can provide for the family is by bringing more money in, going out and working really hard and supporting the men. The irony of this is when women are doing this, we get tired, we get exhausted, we get spent. And other areas of the connection that we have with a man also begin to struggle. So you see, women are very tired by the end of the day. In terms of other ways in which they can bond with their families, they're really having an issue doing that. And this is not, I mean, studies are coming up. It's out there in the public domain that women are starting to say that, is this really what we want to be doing? Is this how we want to be doing it? And men are also beginning to say that, we have to restructure the relationship and look at how we can all benefit from this. Because when you are spent, that means I kind of have that same access to you that I could if you were not that exhausted and stressed out. Okay, so let's look at it. How can you support me? How can we support ourselves in a way that we will both feel nourished in every area of our lives? It's not just about the finances, but looking at ways in which we can feel that the relationship is also being nourished and it's growing. Money is one aspect, it's a very important aspect, but there are different ways of looking at it. And I'm seeing that families are starting to start this conversation. They're exploring some of these other musical avenues, and they're actually flourishing from doing this.
Interesting.
But Ellen, quickly, what I shared doesn't cut across that every man
Oh,
will
of
have
course.
issues with
Of
you
course.
coming up and
Of
taking
course.
responsibilities
Of
on their
course.
behalf. Yeah.
No, but I also do know men who have, issues with you coming up to say that you would like to do this,
Yeah.
you'd like to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
They feel like you're trampling upon their ego, you're disrespectful, you don't.
Especially when you are not married yet. We
Yeah.
are talking about the singles. So
Yes.
there needs to be a
And,
care there because
and I
sometimes you
think that
start
is
and then you can't
why
even stop.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
I think
start
that
and
is
you
why
can't stop.
That's true.
I think that is why you have to have the conversation.
Yeah.
I think that women too, it's okay for us to back up and ask, okay, why do you feel this way? So how would you like me to support you?
Yeah.
Rather to impose your support and
Yeah.
say, no, this is how I'm going to support you. It's important for us to listen and understand their needs as well, not to, because, it's not an ego thing. If you're in a relationship, you're not trying to show one yourself above the other. You're not trying to say, Me too. I have what's called a position.
Yeah.
Me too. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
We're trying to help each other. We're trying to grow together. And that's why conversation is so important. And some men really feel hurt when a woman gives them the impression that, well, you are not good enough. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I have to step in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to be very careful and
Very,
more
very
sensitive
careful.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Then everybody should just keep their money in their pocket. Take care of yourself and let me take care of myself so that we'll have a peace of mind. Don't mind me. I think I am in, a very interesting mood this morning. Okay, so there is a message here. I'll read it and then I'll come to you, Reverend Ogbarmey. It says, okay, must you or can you offer acts of generosity towards the other? And it says that recently there was a lady who posted that her boyfriend had been saving up 5,000 USD to buy a car. Unknowingly, she had also been matching up the savings to add to his money so he can buy a better car. Some people bashed her for going ahead of herself and advised women to only invest in their husbands, not in their boyfriends. So I am linking this to Ariel's thoughts, first of all, about the fact that there are some men who will just not appreciate you coming up to say that, sorry, I am supporting. Or maybe it was the first date.
Yep.
He asked you out and then you went out. And look, I have enough. So, not sounding like I am being conceited or I am looking down on you. Would you mind if I paid, or maybe we can split the bill or something? And then the person goes like, hey, where from this one? They'll say, this is the kind of woman they have been talking about. The empowered woman, right from start. And then, Phoebe, this may have happened for you to see their reaction before you even begin the conversation. But what it is that, okay, you would have had your first shock already. And then that's what probably will prompt you now having the conversations, asking, I didn't know you were going to be offended. I didn't know that it was wrong for me to do that. So how would you rather I do it? Because I am also not the type who would just want to sit down and watch you do everything. So the shock may have happened, and that will send you into wanting to ask the questions now. Reverend, really? Okay, let me start the question. One, if it's a first date with a man, and it's the man who invited you out, it's not the other way around. When it comes to the bills, and I think that I have it, must I still keep my money in my pocket at least for the first date? Will that offend a man if I opt to support?
There's a saying that he pays the piper who calls the tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's the guy who asked you out, certainly the guy would have
Prepared.
For that. So I think it would be a bit, some way, if I can put it that way, for on the first date, especially if the man is the one who initiated it. If, let's say, you had planned to go out, there's nothing wrong having the conversation about, how we are going to, handle the bill, whether you're going to do it or we are splitting or whatever. But if on the first date the guy was the one who initiated it, allow him. I believe a responsible guy would have covered himself and done his budget and prepared. I would believe that he would have checked the prices wherever they are
He's
going.
taking you to.
And then prepared. So I think it will feel funny if the woman said, "Oh, I want to pay." I think it would be a wrong way, to start.
So you don't go ahead of yourself, especially so on a first date.
You shouldn't.
Okay.
You shouldn't. But on the question you asked, in terms of during the dating phase,
Yeah.
should maybe the man assume responsibility? So I have this very strong view.
Great.
That before you're married, don't live as if you're married.
Okay.
And it covers every area.
Sure.
So I advise, couples that, why do you, for instance, the guy will say, "Come and cook for me, do this for me." You're not married to the person, or I want to have sex with you, and all those things. Don't live as married if you're not married. Okay, and that's why the story you read or the text you read, where the woman was told, "Don't invest in your husband, not
in your boyfriend."
in your boyfriend," is very, very sound. And I can give you, I have two examples. I'll not mention their names, but we had, they were in a relationship, and then they decided, one couple, well, they were not married, but they were dating, and they decided to buy a piece of land. Okay, and then the other, they also started building a house. Now they got to a point where the relationship broke down, and they had to go their separate ways. So the question is, what happens to that investment? Okay, so it's not advisable, if you're not married, don't live as if you are married. Okay, I mean, for me, that's a starting point, the foundation. If you're not married, if you're dating, how you handle money matters. Is you have to be transparent, talk about it, but don't live as husband and wife. So the woman shouldn't expect that the guy will be taking care of her bills, her rent, her this, her that, her that. It doesn't mean that the man shouldn't express his affection, and support, okay, in very tangible ways. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it shouldn't be like an obligation that you have to do it. I don't have to do it, because I'm not married to you. We are all working our way towards, being joined together as husband and wife. So I think I would strongly disagree that during the courtship or dating, the issue of one person taking responsibility should come in. But on the other point that Ariel raised, yes, I think men have been socialized, and we love it when we are in charge or we are in control. Somebody will say, a man would like to say, "Bomika nefremi dada," you know.
Reverend, you can sing.
So that feeling of being in charge, being the leader, being the provider, is there. But I think that every reasonable man also knows that women are equally competent. And indeed, if you look in the corporate arena, I operate in the financial sector, you find ladies occupying top positions. Okay, so it means that the capacity for ladies to earn is very good. I don't see why a man should have a problem if the wife, is in the position to help in supporting the home. I don't think there should be a problem. I don't think you should feel disempowered, because it is possible for your wife to earn more than you.
Yeah.
I know of a couple in the States where the wife landed a job, and I think she was going to get a 6-digit figure in dollars, okay? And the guy was not earning that. But the issue was that the job posting was in a different state.
Okay.
So this gentleman resigned his job and went with the wife, and he had to find another job.
Yeah.
Because looking at the facts, she's going to bring much more money. It will be to help the home. Everybody. I can go and look for a job, and so I think men shouldn't feel threatened, but I guess it also depends on how the women approach the whole thing. You don't have to make your man feel like you are not up to it, you are failing as a man, and so on and so forth. But men shouldn't feel threatened if the woman can bring something to the table. Now, I think Phoebe made the point that there's this trend or thinking of women getting tired because they are trying to step up to the plate, to contribute. I don't know whether it's because they are overdoing it, or the men are getting lazy because they see the women, actually stepping up. I'm aware there are some men who actually look out, when they are going to make a choice of a life partner. They are looking for a woman who, one is coming from a very wealthy home, or is a high flyer in terms of the corporate arena, because they also want to lean.
Soft.
Yeah, so I mean, there is that, but I think we need to get a balance. I believe that the woman, the man should be able to bring some money into the home to help, depending on their capabilities and their potential. And I think that we should respect each other's role. The fact that if the woman has more money, it doesn't mean that she should disrespect her husband, and her man, and the man shouldn't feel intimidated that my wife has more money.
Great. All of these will go into the conversations you're having right from the beginning of the relationship.
Absolutely.
Like we said last week, if you were
Edem,
having,
can I please add something? I'm sorry. Reverend mentioned something that I spoke about. And it's because I'm seeing this more and more, especially in the sessions that I'm having with a lot of women. Just this week, I had a session with a woman who's filed for divorce from her husband, and she was the financial head of the home. She brought in the lion's share right from the beginning, right from the day they got married. She assumed that financial headship. She was bringing the lion's share to the home. And what I'm beginning to see is women end up becoming quite resentful when they feel as if the bulk of the responsibility is on them for providing for the home. And she was very resentful. She was very angry that the man, Rev said it, he stepped back and he felt like, okay, if you feel you can do this, I think you should. When it came to the payment of bills, anything, he would say, okay, please give me the money. And he was also working, but he was earning less than she was. Now, I'm not saying that the man should not respect the woman's earning ability and earning potential. What I'm saying is that over the course of time, what I've begun to see, especially among the women, is that there's a growing resentment when they feel that that burden is on them, and when they cannot also rely on the man to take care of the home. And this is not, and that's why trends like soft living came from. Because a lot of women are like, oh no, it's like all of a sudden, I'm the one doing it all. I'm the one who has to bear that responsibility, and it's very heavy on me. And then what happens is that then the men start backing up. Because the way men have been psychologically tuned, they need to be in charge. They need to be the ones who are taking care of the home. When that thing is taken away from them, they back down. It happens almost 100% of the time. And I can tell you, I've met older women who are complaining and saying, after a while, it was just left to me. And then they're just divorcing the men because they said, I don't see the role that you're playing in this house. I'm the one doing everything. So I don't need.
I see a huge gap there.
Yeah.
The gap for me is, how did we get there? And what conversations did we have?
Exactly. And that was what I was saying.
Yes.
If you start without a conversation,
yes,
the disempowerment that Reverend spoke about happens. And then they leave it for you. And then you're going and going because you've started and you can't stop.
Yeah.
So there needs to be an understanding. I'll bring 5,000. Sorry, and you bring 5,000 and leave it there and let the man manage it. But when you start doing, okay, I can do this, okay, I can do this, before you know it, he's disempowered.
Yeah.
And it's very, very serious when that happens. So it's true what Phoebe is saying. Very, very true.
So for such a situation, my question will be, how did you get there? Did you, like we've been saying, just, push the man out of the way because you think you are able to do it, and then with time he goes like, okay, you push him to the point where he has become very shameless and he will tell you, we need to do this, bring the money.
Yes.
Exactly. Did you push him out of the way that hard? So thing is, how did you get here? And probably that's not how it started. And so you will have to begin to retrace your steps and find out how, otherwise you will get frustrated and you would want to leave. And if you leave and you go meet the next person and you haven't dealt with that demon, it will keep happening. And so I think that in as much as some of these women would feel like, okay, the men have left all the responsibility on me and they're becoming resentful. You want to now find out, how did we get there? Was it very genuine that they probably lost their job or they probably they weren't earning much, and you had a conversation and you said, okay, I will do as much as I can, and then they decided that, okay, because you're doing it, they wouldn't even step up to the plate again. So you would have to look at how you got there. That's what I will say. But I'll go back to Reverend Ogbarmey. So what you're advising is that when you're dating, you don't assume fatherhood role of the woman.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, let me
Absolutely.
ask you a question. After that, we'll activate the phone line. When you have met, last week we talked about the fact that we're not saying that your potential partner should be like, an overly rich person. But if you have met a woman, for instance, Reverend, who has potential, but you realize that they come from a background where she really doesn't have the support, you realize that she's pushing herself because she probably is smart and would want to do something for herself, and she's pushing herself and doing little things, but what she's doing is also not able to help her take the next big step, maybe go to the university or do something, and you are in the position to support. Should you do it?
I would say
Because
yes.
you're still dating, and it could be that and we've had stories,
Yes.
such stories about people getting to the investing and
And then
realizing that
the vision
So
changes.
what should it be? The vision changes. I like that.
Yeah.
No, I think that you should look at ways you can use to empower the woman.
Will you let them sign a prenup? Because it happens all the time.
It does. It does. It does. So I think you must be aware if you're doing it that it could go this way or that way. But I think that even if, let's say, you support, you empower, and it doesn't turn out well in the sense that she moves away, that could be that. In terms of the person, she's not a good person
For you.
because that would portray some sense of disloyalty or betrayal. Okay, of course there'll be so many factors that would come into it, but I would say that if you have the ability, you see the girl you're dating has the potential, and you can help her maybe get tertiary education or some professional training to improve her capacity to earn, because at the end of the day, if you get together as husband and wife, what she's able to earn will help the home situation. So I would say yes, look at it, but make sure that you monitor your investment.
Some people have argued that when you find yourself in such situation, be you the woman or the man, you have enough that you can spend on this person, because we've had situations where women have taken care of men too, and then after whatever they tell you that you're not good enough for me. Some people have argued that before you start all those investments, especially so when you have identified that this person is good for you, tie them down, marry them before you start investing. How about that?
That also is a good strategy, because you want to avoid any surprises further down the line. But there are people you will help and they will not reciprocate.
Yeah.
But
You
I
just
mean
have to move on.
that's yes, you just move on. That's how life is. So if you can marry the person to be sure that this one signed, sealed, and delivered, please do it. But if not, maybe giving the circumstances, but you can help, please. There's
And I
nothing
think
wrong.
marriage counselors have also said several times, coaches have also said that you shouldn't end up marrying people out of gratitude or
Yes.
just because you have spent
Yes.
on them.
Yes.
So if you have spent on the person and 2-3 years down the lane, you realize that I met you, I thought you were the one, I loved you, I spent on you, but now we realize that this thing is not working between us. You shouldn't be forced to marry the person or settle with the person just because you have made some investment. Your mental well-being is very much important, that you can just decide that, look, how much did I spend? What was the investment? You let them go and have your peace of mind. That's also there. We're activating the phone lines now. Honestly, these conversations, I really enjoying them. 0302216541, 0302216541, and your WhatsApp messages on 05511119997. This is Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. We have been talking about money and how this pertains to singles who are planning to get married. Now, enjoy your favorite meals cooked with the all-new Frital sunflower oil, fortified with vitamin A. Prepare your grills, cook your stew, fry your eggs with the Frital sunflower oil, and enjoy the goodness in tasty meals. Phyto sunflower oil is also available in sachets for your refills. Grab any of the sizes in any shop near you now. Phyto sunflower oil. Enjoy the goodness and tasty meals. And good food brings good memories. That is why taste matters, and Onga is the taste master. As taste masters, we give every meal that superior taste. Our wide range of Onga flavors assures you of a superior taste and irresistible aroma. Why don't you get your Onga powders? We're talking about the powders. You have the stewed, the 3 mix, which is a combination of ginger, onion, and garlic, and our classic and chicken. And oh yes, for the Onga tablets, we have the shrimp, we have the chicken, the beef, and the stew, and we definitely have a flavor for every meal. This is just what you need for an Ongalicious meal. And by the way, Ongalicious is the new delicious. Onga, mama's helping hand. Ilili? And having your baby try out different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. This helps to develop their palates and prepares them better for accepting variety of adult foods as they grow. So go ahead and try any of our 6 Cerelac variants. We're talking about the wheat, the maize, the rice, the biscuity, fruit pieces, and millet. Remember, each bowl of Cerelac contains goodness that helps your child's normal growth and development. Cerelac, it's all good, ma'am. This advert is FDA approved. And before we take our break, Charlie, I know say as you did come job this morning, now you did rush wa. Say if you make late, you no fit pass antimony in there. But make you no worry. Take this Royal King cracker, take chalk your hunger. The traffic set, the workload for the office set, the meeting go be long. Where you two, you de hung. Make you no shiver cry. As Royal King Cracker did here, you can always chalk the hunger to keep the vim up. Royal King Cracker, take chalk your hunger. We all know hunger can make you slow, but with the heat in the system, Charlie, no time for dull and all. Grab a pack of Royal King Cracker and chalk the hunger to keep your burger level intact. Royal King Cracker, take chalk your hunger. Please stay tuned in. We will be right back to take your phone calls. Thank you very much for staying with us. You should have been in the studio.
This one, that's why it's backstage.
And a good friend of mine sends me a message. Chris, good morning. He says, my dear, take me out and offer to pay the bill. I'll gladly accept and order more. Chris, how are you? And my response to him is that I love you too. Now, I have a few messages. Let me read them. So, my personal people, Pleasant Medical Center, they are 1 year. When they were doing the opening, I was there. I emceed the opening. Today they are 1 year. And Doc, I know I have abandoned you. Look, I am using this medium to say I'm very sorry. To say that I am coming back to you, my first love. Dr. Anshali Ando, CEO and Medical Director of Pleasant Medical Center. Congratulations to you. They actually will be on board very soon because we want to start some family health tips on home affairs. We've been discussing it, so we will make it happen. And Dr. Osafu says I should tell you that he loves you people. He's been praying for you, and you can only get bigger. Now, we have the Joy FM Family Pop Quiz ongoing. The mini series, we have, young children, young people between from ages 12 to 15, coming here on Sundays. We compete. In fact, I host them, and it's very interesting. One of them, it's one of them's birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Ekwabwa Enshel of Holy Child RC Basic School, Sakumono. We wish her God's blessings and good health and divine wisdom in her journey of life. May the good Lord grant every desire of her heart. We love you and we will always stand by you. This is from Dad Kobe, Mom Dora, and your siblings Kwamina and Nicole. So, Ikua, happy birthday to you. And I have one from, she came to warn me, my producer, Daniela. She says, happy birthday to one of my favorite aunties, Charity Sedinam Mamara. Thank you for sharing your heart of gold with us, and thank you for teaching us to love life from your entire family, especially your darling niece, Daniela. Hey! I won't say what I want to say. But Auntie, happy birthday to you. She's actually a very strong girl. I love her too. So let's share her equally, yeah? Now, we have messages coming through and our phone lines are activated on 0302216541. We want to hear from you, please. This forum is for, people who are planning to get married and have questions about money on their minds. We would want to help them answer some of them. For you and I who are already married and we are in the soup, we can only continue to manage. we will try and find another platform to have conversations on the management, but this morning we're helping people who are planning to get married. So if you're married and your husband is not removing job money or the issues, today really is not for you. We appreciate your situation, but today is not for you. Please, Edem, all women need to know that we are to support our husbands financially. If we leave all the burden on them, they will die early, but that's very true. On the other hand, there are some men who are having extramarital affairs, oh Christ, and spending on other women. It becomes very difficult for their wives to support them financially. And you know about the extramarital affairs, right? Tradition and religion have contributed heavily to this effect. The girl and boy child is a full human being who is supposed to be raised to be responsible adults. Every human is responsible for their own upkeep. It's your job to work hard to earn the life you wish for. However, it's not an obligation, but nice to be generous when you can. Help if possible, but do not assume responsibilities. This is from Nana Kwesi. Hello, Edem. I am Richie from Kwewu. I have this lady I plan to get married to next year, but the problem is she always wants attention. She will call and will not say anything. Is that the end of the message, Daniela?
No,
Please give her attention. Give her attention. Anything?
She will call and will not say anything when I raise some topic.
Okay.
She does not know anything about
it. She is the Dadabi type. I'm not saying calling me is bad, but the instance where we can be quiet for a long time on the phone, when I ask her a social question, she has no idea about it. Example, about Agrada Bruhaha. What came was, who is Agrada? Or help me, please. Now. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? I'm good. Yourself?
Also good.
Beautiful. Please, let's hear you. And your name?
My name is Samuel.
Okay, Samuel, we're listening.
Yeah. I've come to the realization that life in general is a risk. Open-hearted as human beings. We are very close to animals. Let people that we need to get life. Not. So I live around the harbor area as well. Somebody buys a car, brand new, tear rubber, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the Spinters Road or he gets to the motorway, the car is in flames. He has not been able to pick a single part out of it. You live with a girl, you sponsor her, everything is going well. You get to marriage, just 3 days after marriage, the girl is dead. What do you do? Mm-hmm. Or the guy is dead. What do you do? You have all this at the back of your mind. I don't think you should put any strings attached to sponsoring somebody. You have the opportunity or you are in the financial position to help one another, go to school to advance yourself. Yeah. So I think we should clear all this out of our minds and live a normal life as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. I think you make some very valid points there. It will take somebody who is, thinking really deep to come up with some of these things. Yeah. But somehow, not everybody thinks that way, not everybody thinks that way. So, yeah. And that is why we shouldn't be expecting too much of people as well.
Yeah.
Somebody will say that, this thing is not so deep. So that's why live normal lives. Support if you can. And don't make it, people's obligations.
Yes.
Especially so when you cannot take care of yourself. Like, I don't understand that one. You can't buy a car for yourself. And somebody must buy for you. And if they are not in a position to buy for you, you call them names.
Not the right person.
Some way.
Yeah. And one of the things when it comes to even lending money, I tell people that if you want to lend money, well, I do that. If I have to give money, I'll give the amount that if the person doesn't pay back, I wouldn't feel it. In other words, if you are helping out, go to the extent that if it doesn't turn out well, you will not be devastated.
Yes.
Like he said, it's a risk. Life, it's all about
This is
risk.
a very interesting message coming through. Edem, good morning to you and your panelists. I'm enjoying the program. My wife is naturally blessed with cooking skills, so I encouraged her to set up a food joint. She can make fortunes out of that, yet she doesn't want to do it, and she's still at home doing nothing, and things are hard for us because my income hardly takes care of the home. This is Jay in Kanda. We said we weren't going to wade into marriage problems today, but just a quick thought on that.
I think Jay should encourage the wife or get someone to speak to her. If she has the ability to cook, why don't you leverage it? Unless maybe she's looking for some job in the bank or I don't know. But people must understand that, like the Bible says, in all labor there's profit. It's about working for money, and he is saying that they are struggling. So somebody should speak into her life. I don't know whether her parents are alive or if she goes to church, her pastor. Somebody must speak to her that, look, you can't just sit down. You have to share in the burden.
Ariel, what do you think of this quickly?
If she has the capacity and the skills to do it and she's refusing to do it, I mean, what are her fears in starting a business? It's not easy starting a business, and there's a lot of mental work you need to do. So she must have something that is blocking her, and the man needs to have a conversation with her to find out, why don't you want to do it, so that if I can help. But if you say just start a joint, we can do this, we can do that, and you don't go deep into her mind to find out why she's resisting, then she may not be able to come out. But I think she may have some reservations about starting a business mentally, or she doesn't believe in herself. Something mentally and psychologically should be what is preventing her from taking on something she's good at.
Hello, good morning. Okay, Phoebe, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just hold on for me a second, Phoebe. I'd like to take your thoughts on this issue as well. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name, please?
My name is Martin Luther.
I was going to say that is that Martin Luther, because I feel I recognize your voice. How are you?
Oh, I see. I'm fine, my sister. How are you too?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Please, let's hear you.
Yes, but I just a simple contribution. But the issue of in courtship, who bears this expenses of that one, I don't get it. I think when you're in courtship, you are serving each other, and it is high time those who are yet to marry understood that in marriage, I've got married for 10 years, but I've realized that it is a responsibility of all parties. If you are going and don't establish the premise well, that is good to suffer. Make sure that the wife works, the husband also likewise. You have an amount that you want to save. This one you want to save for our future building. You want to do this for our children's school fees. All these things. It shouldn't assume that. It's enough. For recent, I shouldn't somebody against. The thing marriage about you go to also buy food and put your legs on the dashboard. And that's the thing. That is marriage. And when they go in and see the reality, then they are found wanted. It's hard to understand that it's about responsibility. Don't assume that I'm going to buy a car for my girlfriend when I'm going to say, what about them?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry for this. I'm very sorry for doing such way on your program.
I know how you feel
but
about that.
I cannot phantom. That somebody say I will do this and I will buy a car for you. No, it's not like that. So it's hard time. I like the program you're talking about. Let people understand that it's about responsible, serious mindset. You don't go mind that you assume you are a child or more. You have to plan well. Be a tough mind. Be serious that you are heading toward this direction. Have this contribution. Let me have this. So that when they come, you want to buy a property, you buy. You don't assume that somebody will go and spend money on food and stuff, and you want to acquire property. Somebody should.
Thank you, Martin. I think the point is
Thank you very
well
much.
made. The point is well made. You see, the point you're making there, somebody is sitting somewhere and also dishing a lot of insults out to you. Because somebody may have a girlfriend and the girl has been good to them, and on their birthday they just want to buy a car. They can afford it and give to you on your birthday, and they are not necessarily considering the fact that we're doing this because by force, I am getting married to you. In the moment, you have really made them happy. They appreciate you, and that's what they want to do. So buying a car for a boyfriend or a girlfriend when you are, dating them, especially so when you it's not a matter of obi abodam. It's just a matter of what you feel at that time. Phoebe, I'd like to find out what you think about the lady who doesn't want to do the cooking by way of earning a living.
I think that, like Ariel was saying, we need to find out what is actually preventing her from wanting to do that. And also understand what her makeup is like at home. I don't know if they have children. I don't know how many children they have. I don't know if she's the primary carer for the kids at home. I don't know if she's also wondering if she'll get any help to do it. So these are questions that need to be answered. And certainly, this needs to be a conversation between herself and her husband. And he needs to be more patient with her. I mean, before bringing other people in, I think it's very important for them to really look at how they can also increase their earnings and how they can also manage their resources in a better way.
Great.
Before bringing in. And yes, and honestly, anybody who's been in a catering service, a catering industry, they tell you that it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So maybe she's also considering, how are we going to set up? Is there room in the house for the kind of level that you want me to do it? Do we have all the things that we need to do that? So I think they just need to talk about it some more, and they can take it from there.
Great, thank you. Daniela, please bring back the messages. Now, you see, 2 or 3 days ago, I was having a conversation with a friend, and the person was like, you're able to do this. I said, I agree, but I do have expectations of myself. I may not be moving as fast as you may be expecting me, but I have expectations of myself. And these are all questions and thoughts that the man will have to put in. It's not enough. You see a potential, but it's not enough to just say start because I see a potential. She may be having expectations of herself. I'm sure that you have had conversations. Maybe that doesn't even interest her, in as much as she knows how to cook for the home and you enjoy her meals. Maybe that doesn't even interest her. So if she's not passionate about, running a catering service, she will just go into it and fail. So instead of, I will add to everything they have said, instead of insisting that she does it, you want to find out what she really is desiring to do and see if you can support her in that direction, other than forcing her to do what you wanted. Because if you've said it for so long and she's not doing it, you should ask the questions. We don't have a lot of information to be able to say that, insist on her doing it. And this, I like this message. Sums up a lot of the things we have been saying. It says, very interesting conversation. Myself and my wife discussed how we will spend our money. She found a well-paying job and had to move to Berlin. I stopped mine and joined her. We have 4 children. I have also found a new job, which will help me to take care of the kids. Good communication is the key. Good for you, and that's a good one there. So it means you talked about all of these before getting into the relationship, before getting into marriage. And when they begin to play out, it's easy to just pick this and plug this one here and all that. Yeah. Hello, Edem. So how do we handle a boyfriend? Okay, we will answer this one. How do we handle a boyfriend or a fiance who clearly does not contribute financially to the relationship and will in future not contribute to household finances? Hey, you have you have summed him up already. Yeah, but she has she's worried about the fact that now the guy doesn't contribute anything to the relationship, yet he is your fiance, and she's afraid that tomorrow she may not contribute anything to the home. What does she do?
But what is she expecting him to contribute? Because you're in a relationship. I think the point we made earlier on, or at the beginning of the program, was the fact that the focus should be on the person's potential or ability to create wealth, manage wealth. That, I think, should be what should interest her the most. Is this guy responsible? Is he working?
Everybody knows some people are just chisel, or because you need that one too is there.
Well, it should feature in your criteria. And what kind of person are you looking for? If the person, presents himself as a very stingy person, then if it's not, it doesn't fit in your checklist, then you know what to do. You advise yourself.
Somebody ever asked a question that, so you go out with this guy whom you're beginning to know, you're not in a relationship yet, and then you go out, he buys stuff, and YCD, he will wait and let the person who is selling the thing go and look for the YCD change and bring before he leaves. He says, don't you think that this person will be a very stingy person in the marriage?
On the contrary, it can also be seen as somebody who will count his pennies.
Yes.
So he has a very prudent approach to management. So it depends on how you do your
and
interpretation.
If you probably haven't served me well to deserve a tip from me, why should I leave it for you?
Yeah.
And so you see, was it Martin Luther who called? There are so many things that we will have to look out for, and conversations to have in a relationship.
Absolutely.
So many. But he said something which is also very important, that sometimes we go and sit in the car and put our legs on the dashboard. The romance is also very important. To put your leg on the dashboard and every once in a while. No, if you're driving in a place that's not so busy and every once in a while the person can rub your legs a little, that one also adds to it. So don't
part of the money.
No, that one is not money, but it adds to the feel good thing about the whole relationship. But enjoy your favorite meals cooked with the all new Frital sunflower oil, fortified with vitamin A. Prepare your grills, cook your stew, and fry your eggs with the Frital sunflower oil and enjoy the goodness in tasty meals. Frital sunflower oil is also available in sachets for your refills. Grab any of the sizes in any shop near you now. Frital sunflower oil. Enjoy the goodness in tasty meals. And good food brings good memories. That is why taste matters, and Onga is the taste master. As taste masters, we give every meal that superior taste. Our wide range of Onga flavors assures you of its superior taste and irresistible aroma. Why don't you get our Onga powders, the stew, the 3 mix, which is a combination of ginger, onion, and garlic, and our classic and chicken. And oh yes, for the tablets, we have the shrimp, chicken, beef, and stew. We have a flavor for every meal. This is just what you need for an Ongalicious meal. And by the way, Ongalicious is the no delicious. Onga, Mama's helping hand. Ilili. Oh, our time is up. Maybe we'll just have 15 seconds each to wrap up. Let me start with you, Phoebe.
Well, I mean, thank you again for inviting me to have this interesting conversation. But I think at the foundation of things, before you go into the relationship, you need to sit down, and apart from just having a conversation, you need to explain your expectations. You need to reason them out. You need to express them to your potential partner. It's not fair that you keep them to yourself, and then later in the marriage, now you're saying, oh, I always thought you were going to do this or that. And I think it's very important for each person to also let the other person know what kind of lifestyle they want to live. So it's very important to let the person know that, okay, this is the kind of lifestyle I want to live. I want to be able to travel every year with the children. I want the children to attend this type of school and all that, so that it also prepares your potential partner for the kind of financial the financial responsibilities they're going to have. It's so important to let them know.
Phoebe, I think we have to wrap up with you now.
She's on a roll.
Ariel, I'll come to you, but I want your final words. Just talk about the wellness thing we have coming up in just 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. So I have a Workers Away retreat coming up for the end of this month, and it's, prepared for workers who are going through stress and burnout.
Great.
We are going to Keita at Chill River Resort. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Where is that?
It's in Keita, Anyanui.
I see.
Yeah.
I should join you.
You should.
Okay.
Every worker, even if you're, a mother home, you're working. Anything you do, you're working. It doesn't have to be for corporate people.
We need it.
And everybody needs a break once in a year for work, just to get away and get some team bonding activities to psych their mind again.
Any number to call to register?
Yes, 0243 600 899.
Again?
0243 600 899.
We will be there.
I
and
look
finally
forward.
From you, Reverend Ogbarmey. Oh my God.
Yeah, so
today I need to be whipped.
I would say that communication is key about money before you enter into marriage and then when you're in marriage. But my last word is the fact that for young people, when you are entering into marriage, think about what you are going to give in the marriage, not what you are going to get out.
of the
Because
marriage.
it's more blessed to give.
give.
It's if we both come with the mindset of what can I give, it will be a blessed relationship and
Beautiful.
union.
And happy birthday in advance to my mom, Mrs. Ewusi, who celebrates her birthday, God willing, tomorrow. My mom is a fashion designer at Tetteh, Newtown, near the Shining Star School. God bless your new age, mommy. Best wishes from your husband, Mr. Ewusi, your daughter, Benedicta Ewusi, and your son, my son too, DJ Bredash. I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of you for doing the listening. It's been an exciting conversation. I'm sure we ourselves here, we are still learning. In as much as we are not, okay, Ariel is still, in that category a little bit. Daniela was doing the listening. Jojo was doing the listening. They worked in the background. And everybody out there, enjoy the weekend. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. We appreciate your time. Next week, we will be here with another interesting edition of Home Affairs. Weekend Tea Show comes up next.